Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. If you are an old timer, welcome back. And if you're new, welcome. It's always good to have new viewers. If you want to say hello to me, please smash the like button. And if you want to be longtime friends, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It definitely helps out the channel. Today I have a good video for you today. I am working on components, and so I'm going to explain to you how the components work by sharing with you something practical that I had to use at my place of work. So let's jump right into it. So what you're seeing here is an application. And I just kind of threw this up. This is not what my application is similar to this, but I just kind of threw this together for demo purposes. So in some of these tabs, tab 1, 3, and 4, I have a gallery. And the data source to my gallery is a SharePoint list. And as you would notice in the gallery, there is this X here. And when you click on it, what's supposed to happen is it's supposed to delete that item from the gallery. Now, what I was going to do was create a dialog box that says, are you sure you want to delete this item? But I would have to recreate it 3 different times. And I don't want to do that. As a software developer, they have something called dry, which means basically don't repeat yourself. So I don't want to repeat I don't want to duplicate efforts. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create something called a component. So a component in Power Apps allows you to create something once and then reuse it several times. So that way you're following that rule of dry, meaning don't repeat yourself. So let's go ahead and create a component, and I'll as I create the component, I'll break it down as to what I'm doing. So I already created the component. I've done what you can do yourself, what you should know how to do. All I did was click new component. I then renamed my component, and then I just added 2 buttons, a no button, a yes button. Then I added this label and the icon, and then this rectangle here. So you can pretty much do this part. So every component has properties. Just like a gallery has properties, these are the properties of the gallery. Default, border color, navigation on select, selectable. Same thing with a button, it has properties. So what we want to do for our component is we want to create properties for it that it will respond to. So what we're going to do is we select the component, and then we're going to go click on new custom property. So the first thing I'm going to do is when we use this dialog, this component in our screen, in our main app, we want this to have that verbiage of so the verbiage is going to be, are you sure you want to delete this item? So we want that to appear here automatically. And it doesn't have to be, it can be different for every gallery. You can have a different verbiage. So what we do is we click on the component, click on new custom property on the right hand side. Let's give it a name. And I'm going to call, let's say, text, or let's say delete message. And in this property type, we have these different types. We're going to stick to data. And our property definition is going to be input. And our data type is going to be text. So the input is, okay, in our main app, the input is what we're passing into our component. So we're going to be passing into our component the text that we want to appear here. So when we use this component in our main app, there's going to be a property And the name of that property is going to be delete message, which I didn't click create, so that's why it didn't show. So let me do that again. Delete message, data input text, and then I got to click create. So a property that's going to be part of our component is delete message. Just like for all those other controls, they have properties. Our component is going to have a property called delete message. So let's go to our screen and see how it works. The first thing we're going to do is let's add the property to our container. So I'm going to click on the container, and I'm going to come here, and under custom, I'm going to click dialog box, and that was the name of our component. That's what we named it. And as you can see, it adds a dialog box. So I'm going to move this to the side. Now you can change the width and the height to span the whole thing, but for demo purposes, I'm going to just put it to the side. All right, so now here's our text. So I'm going to select this component we just added, and as you look over here on the right hand side, here's our property, delete message. It's also can be found here as well, delete message. So I can say, are you sure you want to delete this customer record? So we've added that property now. Now, the reason it's not showing up is because I forgot to do something on the component side of things. So let me go back to the component, and we're going to come here to say to our text, and then within our text, what we want to show here is what the user enters on the Canvas app side, on the app side, the main app side. So it's going to be delete. We're going to start out with the name of our component, dialog box dot, and there's our property, delete message. Okay. So now when we go to our screen, you see, are you sure you want to delete this customer record? It shows up. And because we can use this anywhere, we can always change the text to say something else that's related to that gallery. All right, so hope that made sense. Now the next thing we want to do is now, no. When we click no, we want this to disappear. So that's what we're going to do next. But before we do that, let's do something. So when they click on this, on our screen, I'm going to go to our on visible screen, and I'm going to add, oh, it's there already. So I'm going to say update context, hide dialog is false. So this dialog should be false. So I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to come here, and I'm going to go to the visible property. So by default, there are some properties that's there by default, and visible is one of them. I'm going to come here, paste. So it's gone. And then let me go and grab that again. I'm going to grab this. So now what I want to happen now is when they click on this X, in the on select, we want to change this to true. We want our dialog box to appear. So true. So let's see if that works. All right, it works. But this no button doesn't work. So how do we get that to work? So let's go back to our component. Now, for this next section, what we need to do though, we need to turn something on, which I've already done, but let me show you how to do it. So we go to our settings. We go to upcoming features, experimental, scroll down until you see enhanced component properties. Now, it says we shouldn't use this in production, and you should make your own judgment call. But this has been around for about a year and some change, I believe. So it's been here for a while. So me personally, I'm going to use this, and I think there's a high chance that it will go live, and we don't have to. It won't be experimental anymore. So I'm gonna use it, and at least I need to prepare myself for when it does go live. So, and that's why I'm creating this video. So now that you've turned that on, we can go to our component and click on the component. Let's go to new custom property, and let's give it a name. Let's call it on cancel. Okay. Its data type. It's not, the property type is not data, it's going to be event. This type of property allows you to create an event that the component can trigger and then be handled by the app. So let's select that. The return type is none. And then I'm going to click create. We're going to go over a new parameter in a different video. I want to keep this, I don't want to keep this video too long. So let's click create. All right. So now that we've done that, so when they click, we need to tell our component, okay, when they click this button, we want this on cancel, the on cancel to fire. So for the on select, we have to call the on cancel, the property we just created. So we're going to go dialog dot. And as you can see, it's there, on cancel. It has a squiggly line because this is a function, so we need to call it. So on the other side, when we go back to our main app, this on cancel property is going to be available. And for that on cancel property, we can do whatever we want to do. So let's go back to our screen. Let's bring up the dialog. Let's select it. Let's go look for that property. And there it is, on cancel. So what do we want to happen with on cancel? What we want to do is when they click no, we want it to be invisible. So we come here and we say true on visible. Okay. So let's try this. Oops. So we do this. Oh, I'm sorry, I did that wrong. It's supposed to be false. Excuse me. False. Let's come back into the screen. All right. So let's run it. No. And as you can see how that works. So let's run through that again, a little quick summary. We created a property called on cancel. Our on cancel is an event. So it's going to trigger something. So we select a button. On the on select of this dialog, this component, we want to call this on cancel property. And we do it like this, dialog on cancel. And then in our main app, we need to select the property on cancel because the on select is calling this on cancel. And then we put in whatever formulas we want in here. We can put in several formulas, but we just for now just hiding this. See that? All right, I hope that makes sense. Now for the next thing. Now when they click yes, we want to go in and delete whatever record we had selected to delete. So how do we do that? Yes, it's not going to be too different from the no. So let's go back to our component. Let's select it. Let's create another property. And let's call this on select yes, I guess you can say. And you can give it a better name. property type again is event, no data type, and then create. So now what we want to do is we're going to come here. Let's go to our on select. When they select this, what do we want to happen on the main app side? So we're going to say dialog dot on select yes. So when they click this, we want the whatever you have in the property of on select yes, whatever formulas you have there, that's what we want this button to do, to run. So let's go back to our screen and let's bring up our component, and then let's select it and let's go look for the property we just created. On select yes. So what do we want to happen? Well, what we want to happen is we want to remove from our customers and it is gallery 3 right here, gallery 3. That's our gallery. So we're going to say gallery 3 dot selected. Okay, let me make sure this is the right, hold on. Let me make sure I got the right list name. Yeah, customers, okay. So remove customers, gallery 3. Gallery 3 that's selected. Let me see what's going on here. Let me go back to my component, make sure everything is okay. I'm doing something wrong that I'm totally missing. Okay, so I figured out the problem. The problem is this is not the customer's data source, it's customer orders. So let's go fix that. Customer orders. All right, there we go. Whew. All right, so let me play this. So no, and as you can see, this is item 7, right? ID 7. Yes. And as you can see, it deletes it. Let me go do 14. So as you can see, it didn't go away. So we need to add one more formula. So let's come here. Let's go to our on select. And then we need to update that to say false. So this would go away. So let's come here as delete 10. Yes. All right. See how that's working? Yes. So I hope that made sense. Let me do a quick recap. A component allows you to create it in one place. You know, you create your control in one place, you add the properties that you need, and then you can reuse it in several places. So we created 3 properties, delete message. And just remember that as you create each property, you have to make sure that you add it to your component. You know, so for this one, we said dialog.delete message, and then you have to do the same thing for each of the different buttons. So the buttons, the property we created for them are events. So the data is, the property type is event. And then we set that event to the on select property of that button. Because that on select, once it's selected, it calls whatever is in here, and whatever is in there is a function, or you can say a property. And we look for that property in our in our app. Here are all the properties, and we just add what we want it to do. So I hope that makes sense. Please leave your comments down below in your, and please like the video and subscribe and share it. So in our next video, which will probably be released later on this week, what if I wanted to delete from my collection? Because I do have a collection here on start. You know, I need to be able to pass the ID to the app so that I can delete it from the collection. Because we have to use a lookup to look up the ID that we're passing, so we can delete the right row or record or item from the collection. So in our next video, we're going to be going over using in our onSelect yes, we're going to create a parameter, you know, but there's more to it than just that. So stay tuned for the next video. Please like and subscribe to this video. I would appreciate some feedback. Leave your comments in the description below. And as I mentioned, please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video. Bye.